Dock workers and port employers have reached a tentative labor agreement after a work slowdown that's lasted months. Good evening, I'm Stassi Olmos.
And I'm Madison Keevy. The mayors of Los Angeles and Long Beach celebrated the agreement today at the Port of LA. The port is now beginning to recover from the backlog, and officials say the process could take months. ATVN's Eric Rubel talked to those involved in the negotiations.
Mayor Garcetti called for celebration aboard the USS Iowa in the Port of Los Angeles.
Los Angeles and Long Beach are back to work.
After months of negotiations, the work slowdown at West Coast ports has ended.
These great American ports that are the engine of a great American economy, at a moment when world trade is growing and in which we should benefit, are finally doing what we do best.
The two ports handle 70% of all cargo that arrives on the West Coast. Since worker slowdowns began in the fall, shipping companies have been using other ports.
Ports on the East and Gulf Coast have picked up additional cargo. More vessels have run through the Suez Canal to those locations, predominantly East Coast, and we have seen a drop in the cargo that's moving through the Port of Los Angeles.
Ships like the ones behind me are now being loaded and unloaded 24/7. That's because there are more than 24 boats still waiting in the ocean to come into port. That's creating a nightmare for logistics and freighting companies who want to deliver their goods to the consumer.
We've seen major vessel delays.
Sonia Zepeda works for a logistics company called CDS Global. She says some shipments are a month overdue.
Again, the ETA was the beginning of February and it's now March 3rd.
Zepeda says CDS Global will survive this port slowdown, but some smaller companies may not.
Smaller companies especially were facing shutdown because there's no product in their shelves to sell.
The agreement still needs to be ratified, so both sides are expected to vote on it in the next few months. And with ports fully operational, CDS Global has reason to be optimistic. But both the ports and businesses have a lot of catching up to do. Eric Rubel, ATVN, San Pedro.